Hey guys, English 3 Online. This is your week 8 video just to tell you what you're doing this week and maybe answer any questions that you have and provide support to you. We're getting pretty deep into this research project, so this can get a little intense, and I want to make sure that I am staying connected with you. So this week, October 8th, week 8, October 12th through the 14th, these are your assignments. You'll see an end of Unit 1 timeline, which I'll talk about in just a second, and then there's a lesson over annotated bibliographies. So now I'm recording this ahead of time, so these aren't available to you today on the 7th, but by the time you watch this on Monday the 12th, these materials will be available to you. Now, last week, October 5th through the 9th, week 7, you had to submit information for sources 2 and sources 3. And this right here, I'm going to cap this at 3 sources. My original plan was to have you do 5, but we just don't have time, and you have an annotated bibliography to complete as well as a synthesis video. So we're going to cap it at 3, and we're going to use 3 sources to complete those assignments. So let's talk about that real quick. So this material will be dropped for you, this timeline for the end of the unit. I'm going to hide me real quick. Anyway, so week 8, that's the week that we're in now, you get your annotated bibliography lesson. So all this is, you'll peruse this lesson. There's a YouTube video for you to take notes and submit your notes just to show me that you watched it. And this is my note to you, my advice. Get caught up if you're behind. Do it now. If you do not have 3 sources where you've went through the credibility of the source and the content subjectivity, if you have not done that, you need to do that and get that done this week. Okay, do this lesson first so you know what's coming, and then get those sources completed if you're behind. Now, if you're caught up, you can start working on this annotated bibliography. The assignment will not officially drop until Monday the 19th, week 9. So next week, I will assign your annotated bibliography. Okay, and it's due the following Sunday. You'll have all week to complete it, to work on it. And you'll see a model in this lesson up here to help you with that. And then week 10, which is in 2 weeks, your synthesis video will be assigned on Monday, and it's due on Friday. Now, I bolded and underlined this so that you see that this is actually going to be due on Friday, not on Sunday like we usually do. And then there's a note down here that says all Unit 1 assignments will be due on Friday, October 30th by 8 a.m. Anything not turned in at that point will be given a 0. Okay, so we're wrapping it up. That's why I'm giving you a little note here that if you're behind, I would get caught up, because this annotated bibliography and the synthesis video, these are going to take your time. Okay, they're going to take quite a bit of time. So I would just make sure that you are caught up, and maybe even start this early if you choose. Okay, so there is your timeline for the end of this unit. Let's talk about your lesson. So the instructions are to watch the video attached, which is this one. Okay, this video that I'm making now will be attached under here, lesson number 7. Follow this lesson and turn in your Google Doc notes from the YouTube video. So I'm going to go through this with you. Okay, lesson number 7, annotated bibliography. Okay, so you're going to get notes over annotated bibliographies. You get to see a model annotated bibliography over cancel culture. And I'll leave you a note here again to make sure that you have source collections 1 through 3 completed. If you're not sure what that is, that just occurred to me that you might be watching this and thinking, what is she talking about? That's this. Gathering information for source number 1, gathering information for source number 2, and for source number 3. These documents here, okay, where you did credibility, you went through the CRAP test and evaluated credibility, and then you went through content subjectivity. So if the material seems too subjective, that's the point of this. If it seems too subjective, where it seems very biased or opinion oriented, you cannot use it. So that's the point of this. You need to pick unbiased sources. Side note to that, this research should not have any opinion embedded, your opinion nor any of your source author opinions. Okay, it should all be objective information. And we've talked about that in the lessons previous. Okay, so I give you a task here. Open a Google Docs. You can take notes and watch this YouTube video. This YouTube video will detail for you what an annotated bibliography is better than I could. So I'm using that as part of a teaching tool this week. So watch the video and take notes. You'll turn in these notes for me to let me know that you watched it. Now this video is only 5 minutes, which is not long at all. Okay, so you can do that. Next thing. So here's an infographic on how to do a citation. This is going to be your best friend as we move forward. So the citation comes at the top of your annotated bibliography. You'll do a citation and then you'll do your annotation, your bibliography portion of the annotated bibliography. This is your annotation. And then you'll have your bibliography where you give a summary and the usefulness to research and all of that we'll talk about. So here's how you do a citation, okay? Author's last name, first name. If there's not an author, write the website. You give the website, okay, or publication, hyperlink it, article name and quotation marks. This is all covered in this video, okay, that you're going to watch. So just some notes for you. Make sure you have the exact same format for your citation. The hyperlink should be black and not blue. So when you initially put a hyperlink into a doc or a Word document, it'll turn it blue. Don't do that. Make sure that you turn it black, take the underline away, take the hyperlink away. Just have the URL there. Type out the title of the article exactly as it appears. So if there's a misspelling in their title, that's what you put on there. Okay, if something's not capitalized, that's what you put on there. And you'll indent your paragraph after the citation. Here are our goals for this bibliography. Okay, according to the rubric, it should be 6 to 10 sentences for each source. Should be completely and objectively summarized the author's main point. Your opinion should not be in your annotated bibliography at all. You cannot say the Second Amendment is a violation of our rights or marijuana should be legalized. You cannot present opinions in this. You're just presenting research. That's it. Okay. Identify and evaluate the bias of the author. Okay, recognize where the bias is, but don't include an opinion of it. Do not include your opinion. So you would have done this in this source collection that we've been completing. That content subjectivity section of this, okay, that's what this is talking about here. Conclude by discussing how this text applies to your issue and essential question. So you would discuss how that source answers or provides some insight into your essential question, okay, that you chose. And it says to follow the format. You can't see it on here because of all my apps I have open. Okay, so the steps for annotated bibliography entries. As you work, jot down rough draft information for the following: a summary, evaluation, application. Again, all of that you completed back here in these source collections, okay? So you've been doing the work so far. It's just a matter of putting it together. Formal annotated bibliography. Revise your annotated bibliography and put a professional finish on it. Make sure it follows MLA. Make sure all information is included for each source listed. So again, this info is going to be in that YouTube video. It's going to be embedded in lessons that you've had. Okay. So in your writings, you will tell me specifically what type of source you're annotating in the first sentence. Is it an opinion article? Is it objective, subjective? The more specific, the better. Always refer to authors by their last names. So if I'm talking about John Steinbeck, I would just refer to him as Steinbeck in my summary. Remain objective. Include summaries of the author's opinions or major pieces. Do not include your opinion. You can say the author believes XYZ, but you cannot say I, me, my, or provide any kind of generalization like that. When writing, make sure you focus on the content within the source. Do not write from your own perspective or personal opinion. Okay. Make sure your writing is formal, spell correctly, capitalize, write in a scholarly manner. And then here is an example for you of a sample bibliography on one source. Now remember, you're doing 3 of these. You will have 3 of these. Okay. Let me make sure the share settings are good for this. Yeah, okay. So here's an annotated bib for one source, and this topic was cancel culture, okay, which is just a sample topic for this. So you have your annotation here, okay, the author, the article title, and then the link following the source location, Forbes magazine. So this, you'll have your annotation at the top, and then you'll have your bibliography, okay. So this is where we're getting to. You'll do 3 of these for me, and they'll all be on the same document, but you'll complete this all together. Okay, sorry, I had a visitor. Anyway, so this is your the bibliography portion of your annotated bibliography. This is where you discuss the source objectively. Okay, so your lesson will detail that. This lesson here in that YouTube video will detail how to do this. And here are your goals. Completely and objectively summarize the author's main points. So you just hit the high points. You're just writing a summary objectively. Identify and evaluate the bias of the author. Okay, so you talk about whether your author is biased, not you. Okay, no, do not include your opinion. You're discussing whether your author is biased, your source itself. Conclude by discussing how this text applies to your issue and essential question, and then make sure you just follow this format. And here's your rubric. So you're getting graded on your summary, whether you evaluate the source, and this is where you're talking about bias or not, and were you able to clearly articulate your reflection? Okay, so do you tie this back to your essential question? So these 3 things right here. Objectively summarizes the author's main points, identifies and evaluates the bias, and concludes by discussing the application of this source to your research. Okay, so look at this example here, and perhaps you can even identify, make a copy of this and identify the different sections of it. Okay. And as always, guys, if you need help with anything, you can email me. We can get on a Google Meet. You can come to class during class time. I'm just sitting here, okay, wanting to be useful to you. So you can reach out to me any way that you need to. Okay, don't wait until, week 10 to do that. Don't wait until right here, okay? Do it now. Reach out to me now, and I'll be happy to help you. Okay, so your annotated bibliography will be due on, this is wrong. That's not the right thing. Let me fix that. I'm back again. Okay. Maybe I'll get my life together one of these days. So your annotated bibliography is due Sunday, October 25th. Okay, that's not far from now. And then right after that's due, you get your next big thing, which is your synthesis video over this research. And more will come about this very soon. If you're wanting to get a head start on this and look at that, there's information about your synthesis video, I believe in last week. Let me see, right here. Introduction to the research project. Remember this thing here? This tells you the whole ordeal. This was the purpose of this was to get you ready for what was coming. So synthesis video, this tells you all about that here, okay? And how you're going to be scored. Anyway, so this was a lot, and it's okay to feel a little overwhelmed. Just take it piece by piece. So right now, you're going to do this annotated bibliography lesson. You're going to get your 3 source collections completed if they're not. And then if you wanted to start working on that bibliography lesson, you can. It will officially drop October 19th. It's going to follow the same format as the model that's in this lesson. and then your synthesis video will come, and then we'll be done with this section. Okay, we'll move more towards argument next unit. Okay, I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope that you enjoy this little break from so much input and transactional knowledge this week. Yeah, I'm here to help you and support you. Take care of your stuff and take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon.